It is 6:06. Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. We'll take announcements after we go into executive session. Okay. So actually, I do need a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. We're going to skip announcements and move to, I need a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 742061B.
So moved.
Second.
We need a roll call vote.
Trustee Bain?
Yes.
Trustee Thompson?
Yes.
Trustee Grissom?
Yes.
Trustee Quimby?
Yes.
On that note, we will go ahead and step over to the teacher's lounge for executive session. Yeah, y'all can bring your computers.
We do want to.
Okay. Okay, so we've come out of executive session. It is 6:15. I will entertain any motions at this time.
I will move to authorize the chairs to sign the separation agreement for employee A.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. I do a roll call vote on that.
Trustee Bain?
Yes.
Trustee Thompson?
Yes.
Trustee Grissom?
Yes.
Trustee Quimby?
Yes.
Thank you. Are there any other motions?
Yes. I would motion to install the interim superintendent as the superintendent.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We'll do a roll call vote on that.
Trustee Bain?
Yes.
Trustee Thompson?
Yes.
Trustee Grissom?
Let's say yes.
Yes.
Trustee Quimby?
Yes.
You can say that if you wanted to.
Yeah,
Right on that. Thank you, Jake, for taking me home. It is greatly appreciated.
It's a
Get rid of
privilege
that.
to be here.
All right.
Interim word.
Yes. All right. So on that note, I would like to remind everyone. Oh, Jeff, I can grab that. Okay. That our board meetings are our business meetings held in public. They are not public board meetings, and that the board is governed by Idaho Code Title 74 and Title 33, Chapter 5, Idaho Administrative Procedures Act, or IDAPA, and we do follow district policies. Are there any other announcements for this evening? No. All right, we'll move into public input.
I don't have any.
No public. Oh, gotcha. All right, so with no public input, we will move into the reports. First, we have the interim superintendent report. Do we have any conversation to be held? Any questions, comments on the superintendent's report?
No.
I do want to add, you have some books at your places at the table as a follow-up from last month's report.
Okay.
There's no reading assignment or anything like that. I just want you to have the opportunity to be involved in what we're doing with our principals.
Perfect. Thank you. And I do want clarification on the trust and the medical insurance, apparently. So.
Yeah, so it is a really unfortunate situation that we're in many Idaho school districts. Almost 100 districts in the state of Idaho are in what's called the Idaho School Benefit Trust. That was set up as a collective bargaining group so that we can all go as one pool to bargain for insurance together. Unbeknownst to any of the participants, that self-funded group was running out of reserves. Sounds like
Oh.
as more news comes out about it, it sounds like over the last few years that has been the case. Districts are more than a little bit upset about what's going on because of the situation that we're in now, but it's becoming apparent that there was information to share with us over the years that maybe was not shared.
Okay.
And so we actually received notice of a deficit there, that because this is a self-funded trust, all of the individual participating districts are now on the hook for that deficit. We were notified of that about a month after we re-upped with our trust insurance plan. And so there's certainly an ongoing conversation kind of in the background about like what are the legal ramifications of this and what other actions can be taken to protect districts from essentially just being charged this money.
Right.
On the flip side, it is a self-funded trust that every school district knowingly entered, understanding that we bore some responsibility in this. And so at this point in time, there's not really any official news to share.
Okay.
The powers that be are still meeting on a regular basis. We have missed a couple of timelines, or dates rather, where we expected to get updates. And so both Jess, Brooke, and I, all three of us, have actually followed up with our contacts just on a regular basis to try to get as much information as we can.
Okay.
Not that we missed the deadlines, they missed the deadlines to get, okay.
Correct. Yeah. So for example, we believed that last Wednesday there was going to be a meeting that would result in some information for us, and that there is no update.
Okay.
And so we're still just waiting.
Okay. And we are bound to this for the year.
At this point, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
We are certainly exploring all of our options before
Okay.
we just settle into it, but at this point, that's what it looks like.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Moving on to the financial reports. Do we have any questions, comments, conversations to be had?
I'm good.
We do have one. Surprise. On the general fund year-to-date revenue, we're showing a negative $3,300.
Yes.
Why is that?
Jessica Grantham, Chief Finance Officer. The negative in there, we received a donation and we had already written the check, but it got deposited in August, so the cash just didn't hit, so it'll wash itself out.
Okay.
So it was a donation for the schools that came to the district. It was deposited. We wrote them a check, but it just didn't make it to the bank to be part of the cash. So since we operate on accruals, it just was
So
a
was it-
timing.
It was a donation
Written
the
to the
district?
district, written to the district for 2 elementary schools.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That was my question.
Okay.
And then are we going to be getting a report on the school modernization funds?
What type of report?
Well, like you have been providing with, sorry, my screen's being weird. All the other accounts that we have, just sort of showing this is what we have, this is what we've spent it on.
So Fund 436 is just the modernization funds. If you would like a deeper breakout from that, I could absolutely prepare that for you. It's just the only thing that flows through Fund 436 in the financials are those projects that were approved by the board.
Okay, and I guess the reason why I was asking about it is on the, what's it called, your report. Let me find it, I apologize. Okay. For the plant facilities levy, you've given us a breakdown of this is the income and this is where the expenditures have gone. My concern is on the board facilities project. You have John Brown Elementary and then canceled. because we were initially going to try and do that several years back. But we're doing it. We're not really showing any accounting of, I would just like it crystal clear so that when people are looking at this going, well, why, it says canceled, but they've done all these improvements. And so since it's not being removed from there.
Yep, I'd be happy to create a report on Fund 436 that provides more detail.
That'd be
It'll
great.
be an ad hoc report with the financials.
That would be great. So that was all I had.
Okay.
Thank you.
I thought we were gonna provide that on the website too. Are we not doing that anymore?
Some of these reports are out there. I'd be happy to get them out there for that one as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
We have the facilities report. Well, I should ask, are there any other questions or comments on the financials? Okay. We have the facilities report. So Jake, it does look like we're going to be on target for completion of John Brown and the middle school
Yeah, that's
Before
correct.
school
And
starts.
the roof at Lakewood High School.
and the roof. Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah, all projects are on track. Right now, the only project that isn't even really ours, that is a little bit delayed, is just Washington Street.
Okay.
But they're going to be done by the time school starts for sure.
Okay. Will they be done before the next board meeting?
I hope so.
We're pushing for the 30th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That is the plan.
All right. Thank you. Anybody have anything else on facilities?
Nice report. Whoever made it did a good job.
Thank you.
We have the HR report. Any comments, conversations?
No.
And thank you for creating an opportunity for people to learn about their benefits. I think that's great. Technology report. Any questions, comments, conversations to be had?
Nope, looks like
No.
we've been busy.
Good.
Okay. There we are. Nutrition services report. Any questions, conversations, things to talk about on this report? Okay, am I going to have to make the announcement about cell phones before
Yeah.
the meetings?
Sure.
Any conversation about the nutrition services? No.
So it looks like we did now qualify for the fruits and vegetables.
What was that?
Oh, the fruit and vegetable program. But
Okay.
I see it's good to see that.
Okay.
I don't have any items.
All right. Transportation report. Any conversation or discussion on that report?
Do we anticipate any routing changes?
We're actually hearing those tonight.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, you're
Very
fine,
good.
Summer.
Yep.
Thank you.
Summer, Director of Transportation. Yes, so there is some changes to it. Every year there's changes.
Yep.
But we are getting finalized with all of those changes. One of the biggest changes is we're asking for another route. We are trying to, Brookshire is becoming overrun, and we're having an issue with some of our buses going in there and having too much people on their buses, and we're having to shift. So we
Okay.
tried to create a bus to go there specifically to Brookshire and pull some of the other buses out. So instead of 6 buses going there, now we have 2, and we're making everybody else go out of there. So that's what we're trying to do. So we're trying to lessen our fuel schedule, trying to make it a little bit more efficient, just have one bus grab everybody
Yeah.
instead in Brookshire, and they're still growing, so,
Did we terminate any routes this year?
no.
Okay. Did we add any new routes?
Just the one that we're trying to propose.
Brookshire.
Okay, just
That's
the
the
one
only
for
one, yeah.
Brookshire. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, thank you.
Are you gonna,
Thank you, Summer.
Did you have questions?
You can go
I
ahead.
have a question. Living right next to Cloverleaf, where the buses usually come out and make a left turn, it's gonna be, I think that's gonna be a really difficult, as if it isn't already. Are you gonna have to reroute up through Bay or Burdett and over on Hauser Lake Road, or what are you gonna do? I mean, come in and go the other way around the loop, or what?
I'm not sure just as of yet.
Okay.
I would probably need to get back to you on that. But,
Making a right turn into Cloverleaf and going the
Mhm.
other way would be a lot simpler than trying to get out onto that
on the highway,
highway, yeah, the freeway.
I know. But trying to go into that neighborhood is tricky, especially specific buses. It's, so it used to be Garwood, used to be Twin Lakes, or what have you, but going through there is just very tricky.
I know the
I
bus
will
stop,
figure out.
the bus stop at Southview is
Mhm.
on the west side of the street, so you're coming down Cloverleaf, that's an easy place to pick up, but the other side,
Right.
they'd have to cross that road.
I know, and there's a bunch of that happening, and new developments everywhere, even off of Wyoming. We have people, how they built it, they built it from the back forward, so the forward portion, we can't get buses, it's all gravel. And so we can't even go in that section to turn around and come back out. It just wouldn't be feasible for us to do it. But they're building all over the place. But some of that new route, we're trying to take away from one of our routes that used to go in there, and we pulled him all the way out because now it is, I can't remember what it's called, but it's the north side of Lancaster. They are building there as well. So we're getting ready to shuttle those kids, and we already go south. And so, I don't know, we're trying to figure out what their plan is as they're doing it, I guess.
Okay.
But, thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Are you,
The federal programs report. Any conversations, questions, or discussions we need to have?
I do not.
Okay. Moving on to the consent agenda, we have the minutes of the previous meetings, the minutes of the committee meetings, and HR items in the bills list. Do we have any comments, questions, or concerns on the meetings from the previous meetings? The minutes from the previous meetings?
no.
No? Okay. Any comments on the minutes from the subcommittee meetings? No? Okay. HR items, we have the board book memo, resignations, applications. Do we have any comments, questions, or concerns on any of those items?
I do not.
Okay. On the bills list, we have the bills list and the breakout. Do we have any comments, questions, or concerns on anything on the bills list?
Nope.
Okay. That being said, I'll entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving into the action items, we have the fall athletic schedule for the Lakeland High School cross country. This was not available when we approved the other ones. Does anybody have any comments, questions, or concerns about this schedule? Anything?
No, I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the Timberlake High School Volleyball Tournament. To Jerome. I am curious. It says, what is the cost for the event and how are the expenses being covered? And it says covered by fundraising $250 tournament miles. Sort of. I think it got cut off. But then wrote mileage of bus, fuel, hotels, $880. How is it being paid for?
The team did fundraise for this trip.
So the whole thing is being paid for by fundraised dollars?
That's
Okay.
correct.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I wasn't clear on. Anybody have any other questions on the tournament?
No, I will move to approve. I thought that
That
was
too.
a fun committee.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the THS Club request. It's the North Idaho Equestrian Team.
I want to recognize that this didn't come with a cover sheet like it usually does.
Oh.
And so if we had done that, we would recommend approval for this as we don't see any issues with this club.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish we were competing in the high school rodeo too. All the other districts have a lot more down south, but we
Yep.
should do that here too.
This might be a step
Maybe-
in the right direction.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah.
say, maybe once
Yeah.
this gets going, that's a direction that they'll head. I assume that Mr. Eberlin is agreeable, because we don't have that either, and that's supposed to be part of our process, is that the principal has approved. So I will move to approve contingent on Mr. Eberlin's approval.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the supplemental materials for August. Looks like we have just one book.
It's an overwhelming list this week.
Love it. And it looks like within the committee, everyone was on board with the book.
I'll move to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the THS Track Repair. We have one bid from the track doctor, which that's the same company that did LHS, and we had
Under new and new
Oh,
ownership.
yeah.
Oh, and we had significant problems, but,
I believe our CFO is going to say the same thing here, but we made a pretty tremendous effort to reach out to other companies
mhm.
and weren't able to get anybody to bid the job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reached out through purchasing contracts that we have, the co-ops that we work with, even contacted some other companies just to, across the United States, and just, it was either not feasible for them to do it for this small of a project, or they just declined to quote it.
So you're asking for us to take money either from the plant facilities levy or the board-approved projects.
Yes.
So if we do pull the funds from the board-approved projects, is there just anything that's not going to be accomplished from what's been set aside?
No,
Okay.
the only thing that's being paid for out of board-approved projects right now is the John Brown Elementary parking lot. Otherwise, that has a balance of funds about $130,000 for use at the board's discretion.
What do we have left in the plant facilities levy?
That one's, I'm not going to tell you that one off the top of my head because we have the concrete money sitting in there still. There's about $300,000 that was designated for carpeting or flooring projects that we have not been able to move forward on. And then there was some miscellaneous funds, about $100,000 that could be used at the board's discretion. Back in May, I had brought a pretty extensive list of how we would like to rebudget that, and had asked to put about $100,000 into kind of an emergency fund for this year so that we could kind of use that as needed out of the balances in that fund. The board declined to do that at that time, which is totally fine. But we do have funding available in there as well for that.
Okay.
So either one, your discretion. I just know that Timberlake High School track will not be able to host on their track without getting this fixed.
Yeah, that was our concern with it, with so does that fix the sinking and all that too?
This
or
just
no?
takes care of the track pits
Okay.
and the lanes for that.
Okay.
It's going to be quite a bit more to be able
To
to
do the
repair the
rest.
track.
Was
Fully.
that the 250 or 300? No?
We're looking closer to $1 million.
Yeah, it would be a total tear out of the track,
Oh, okay.
ideally, which would be a pretty
Maybe I was
major
thinking of the
undertaking.
junior high.
After walking the track up here with the AD and some of the coaches, it seems like we can get through another couple of seasons on the
Okay.
track itself.
Okay.
Right now, it's this that's holding us up.
Okay.
So looking at this surface for both middle school and high school events, it really is necessary to get this done
Right.
to be able to use the facility.
Do you have a preference, just out of curiosity, of which fund?
421 would be ideal for me, the board approved projects, because we don't have anything set aside in there just yet. So it would be nice to get that one taken care of and then either continue to work through the budget that we have set up for the plant facility levy or work with the board to redetermine how they would like to distribute that.
And the plant facility levy was just flooring?
Flooring, and then there's just some miscellaneous amounts from projects
Yeah,
that we had
I
budgeted
remember.
a little bit too much for, or they
Oh,
came
yeah,
in
yeah.
under.
Right.
So there's a handful of those items that we would be able to collapse and to put into a new line item. The
Okay.
May 20th meeting, we brought a pretty extensive color-coded list
I
on
remember that.
how to do that. And we just had to decide at that point, especially since we don't have a plant levy
Yeah.
going forward, to kind of hold off with the general fund not having a budget much for facilities this year.
Mm-hmm.
Really, those funds in the plant facility levy is our only place to go right now, other than fund balance for
Mm-hmm.
items that need to be a critical infrastructure repair.
Right,
So.
okay.
I would rather leave the plant facility levy dollars whole for such things as major repairs, and I would rather use the board approved
Yeah.
projects funds for this, so. that
I
would be
think
my-
that's where we were too when we initially discussed it, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So I will move to approve this project with funding it from the board approved projects.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Thank you.
Mhm. Thank you.
Moving on to the curriculum director job description.
I did receive some feedback from Trustee Grissom. Thank you for that. And I did my best to incorporate, I think I was able to incorporate all of that into this new draft.
Okay. I can't scroll through it, and it's not attached to the agenda, so I can't see. I thought I had a note.
Click on that link, it's not, there it is.
Yeah, I can't, I didn't want to scroll through that thing. Do you remember, Jake, if the, it looks like it, but I can't remember, the qualifications, line item 3, I think, was it pretty much just a copy and paste? I can bring up the other one. I just figured it'd be easier to,
I believe it was.
yeah.
So I had actually reworked about the first half of it
Okay.
whenever I received your feedback. And so
Okay.
there are some places in the first half of this document where it's kind of a mashup of your words and mine.
Yeah.
But I believe that it is very similar, if not the same.
Okay, here we go. I'll just grab it real quick. Yep, and just so you know, it was this basically the same thing as looking at what we had, what Coeur d'Alene, everybody, and then looking across the state, right? What's Idaho's typical, you know, and then what does Lakeland want to do,
Yep.
kind of thing. You know?
Absolutely. It cleaned up the language nicely.
Yeah.
Do you have any other questions?
I'm just looking because
Okay.
at what I had originally, and I guess I should have shared it with everybody. Oh, I see. Okay, I gotcha. All right, so the strike through was the language that was in the one. Okay, I see now. I'm just trying to figure out what language was from where. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much like Jake said, just some mashup of it. The only difference was the first line item. Yeah.
Okay, well, if there's no further comments, questions, or conversations, then I'd entertain a motion at this time.
I move to approve as presented.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the updated organizational chart.
So I do want to note a couple of changes here. First of all, we understand that the colors and the formatting looks a little bit different than what we're used to. That does not have to stay that way, but it was the easiest way for us to visualize and put together this draft. Thank you, Rebecca, for your help with that. Really, the changes in the org chart are that our operations directors will report directly to me as the superintendent.
Good.
And then there's the addition of the possible curriculum director position. So those are the two big changes. I do want to note, we understand, and you can kind of see how there's a little lateral line there, that the CFO still needs to be very involved in the day-to-day of our operations departments. Just because of the nature of what they do, it has everything to do with our finances all the time, but they will report directly to me.
Good. Okay.
Can we get the patrons of Lakeland School District on the top? Missed that.
That, I mean, boards.
It was
board's
on
discretion,
the old
absolutely.
one. It didn't get put on the new one.
Yeah, so there is, if you look at the old one, there's a heading there that we do not intend to exclude that in the final version. I think that might be what you're referring to, and we can absolutely put that back.
Okay. Thank you.
think, yeah, both of the versions are linked there so that you have the
Mhm.
side-by-side
Yep.
comparison.
I like the cleanness, and I like that we're not throwing everyone's name out there. Is that our intention, to keep names off of it?
For us, it just seems a little bit cleaner and more professional.
Perfect.
Just because it's the responsibility of departments and positions
Right.
and not necessarily anybody's
Right.
first name. We
Yeah.
like to operate on a first name basis, but not in this sort of capacity.
Perfect.
Well, the organization of it isn't the person anyway, it's a
Yeah.
position, so.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I will move to approve the updated organizational chart as presented with the
With the header.
with the header. Yep, with the
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a couple of questions. Are we having problems adding the actual documents that are linked to the agenda with the agenda? In other words, when we pull up the agenda item, you know,
It's the cover sheet with the links in it.
yeah.
So that's how I'm receiving them. And so we can shift that if you'd like, and I can try to work with everyone to kind of do a different format.
Yeah, well, in the past, we always added it because the problem is it's supposed to be the snapshot in time, and if it's just a link, we don't want the link to change whatever the board's approving. We want to be able to go back and see this was the thing that was approved. So yeah, if we can go back to doing that again, that would be great. So that way when other people are looking at it too, they see what was actually.
All the pieces.
Yeah, exactly, yep.
yeah, because sometimes it requires access and approval, and we shouldn't have to
Right.
request access or approval to
Yeah,
Yep.
that's reasonable.
view those docs.
Okay. Moving on to the Kootenai County Sheriff School Resource Officer MOU. I am curious, did you have conversation with Kootenai County in April, I believe was when it's supposed to occur?
About this contract?
Mhm.
Yes.
About the New Year's SRO contract?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
How did that go?
We did not know any of the final numbers at that point in time.
Right.
In fact, it was pretty recent that they finalized their budget. You might have seen the articles in the press about Kootenai County taxes. Yeah, but we have worked pretty closely with the sheriff's office, especially this school year, just
Mhm.
making sure that this contract is something that we can continue to support and benefit from. There was some talk about putting certain requirements on the contract that ultimately didn't come to fruition, which I'm grateful for, because I believe it's adequate as it stands. So, Trustee Thompson, I'm not sure if that answers your question. I don't know if you're getting at something specific but I did have ongoing conversation with them through the spring to prepare for this contract.
Okay. I'd like to hopefully, because we do our budget, and then we do that May to June. I'm just wondering if we can kind of get things a little bit more aligned. Because in April, we're supposed to be negotiating contracts without an understanding of what our budget responsibilities are. And then, of course, they don't get theirs done until they get them done. And then we're kind of in this position of, well, this is what they're going to make us do.
They have a different fiscal year than us, though, so
No,
that
and
makes
I-
it much more
Yeah.
difficult for them to have the
In-
numbers.
If I can say in their defense a little bit, they were very communicative about their estimates and about their thoughts of what it would be. And so even though it was finalized later than that April timeline, I do feel like they were very forthcoming with what they expected to see.
Well, and I think my caution is just that we're sitting right now at 70%, and there's going to be a push to go higher and higher and higher. and without an understanding of how are we going to navigate that when we're already, I mean, when we go out for a levy to support SRO dollars, and then they want to raise what we're obligated to pay, that is problematic. So that's where I guess my heart would be that we have a better organizational approach to this, in the sense of, let's know what our budget is. Let's then go to the table to negotiate, understanding that they're not going to have their budget done because of what their requirements are. But if we go to the table in negotiations, understanding this is our final option, because this is either what we have secured by levy funds, or this is all our budget can afford, I think that's a lot easier than not going to the table, or just going to the table saying, okay, that's what you want us to pay, and then coming back to the board and expecting the board just to be like, oh, sure, yeah, we'll pay that, when we haven't really thought the whole process through. Does that make sense?
You let me know if I have this correct.
Mm-hmm.
You mean to set a limit on either the percentage and or the total dollar amount that we're going to pay for this contract ahead of time?
Yes.
Okay. So we can absolutely have that conversation.
Okay.
And I appreciate the direction. This past year, I would say that we found ourselves in kind of an interesting conversation where, in fact, the trustees might remember we had a little bit of a debate with the county commissioners about what
Yes.
this percentage looked like and the breakdown, and so that was really our focus. I believe that I have confidence in the leadership at the sheriff's office,
Mhm.
that 70% is pretty solid for school
Okay.
districts in the area. It has, at least in my understanding, always been our agreement with them that they would determine any cost adjustments for their employees' pay, and we would still be on the hook for the 70%. So that would be a change moving forward, to go in with a fixed dollar amount for the total contract.
Well,
I think too, when we do our levy calculations, that we don't just take into consideration what we're paying this year for our SROs,
Right.
but take into consideration
What is-
what that could look like over the span of the levy
Right.
years that have been or that we're requesting to be approved,
right.
so that we are building in those wage increases or cost increases, rather than kind of hamstringing ourselves to say, can't pay more than this.
Yeah.
too.
Well, and-
Absolutely, and
So
like
both
I said,
sides.
yeah, I appreciate the direction. I
Mhm.
don't mean to push back on it, but I just want to note that will be a little bit of a change in how we.
Well, I guess my struggle is in the beginning, we were supposed to be paying a specific level of a deputy, not necessarily what they were paying that deputy, because if you have a senior deputy officer
Right.
at an upper level, there's a significant pay difference. And so that was in the contract, but then that wasn't being adhered to, but nobody had approved it from the board. It was just what was done. So, consistency and not necessarily, it's like, why are we negotiating on something when we haven't even set our budget, number one? And number two, if everything's just going to keep moving, are we really even negotiating? Are we doing anything in good faith except waiting for them to tell us what we're going to pay? That's just kind of where I'm coming from.
Sure.
So,
That's fair.
and I understand that as you grow in knowledge, I'm confident that you're going to figure out, okay, we're going to approach this way because it's what's better for the district. So, just a little insight.
Sure.
Thank you.
Where do we anticipate this $19,520 coming from?
Please.
I think it's $1,952.
Over 10 months, every month for 10 months. So
Okay.
$19,520.
Gotcha.
When we did the math for the plant, or not the plant levy, for the levy, we did include that increase in there. It was built into the amounts that we requested. We also had budgeted for an additional hire in that has not come to fruition yet. So we have the funding available within the safety and security budget.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Jessica.
Were there any drastic changes from what we already had with them and what we have now, this MOU? It looked pretty much the same to me. I didn't.
Other than the consolidation, so in the past they issued us 3 separate contracts for
Right.
3 separate deputies. They're all in one, and other than the cost difference, they should be identical.
Okay, yep,
Yeah.
that's what I thought, but I could have missed something. Okay.
It's worth noting that 2 of the deputies are the same and 1 is new for this year.
Which one did we lose?
The Garwood Elementary deputy moved out of state, and so
Okay.
he was replaced with another deputy.
I will move to approve as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the Rathdrum Police Department Resource Officer MOU.
On this one, I think the increase is a little bit more palatable.
I assume it's coming from the same place, though.
Yes. And like the Kootenai County MOUs, this MOU is identical to what was issued last year.
Have they found a new? They have?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, we are excited to welcome Officer Josh Baker.
Oh,
Yeah.
Baker,
He
Officer
is.
Baker.
He's going to do a great job.
Mhm. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
I will move to approve as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the Local School District Mutual Aid Memorandum of Understanding.
Lots of MOUs tonight.
It's a good thing to get them done before the school
Before
system
That's
starts.
that's the
Not
goal.
try to squeeze them in.
That's
Yeah.
the goal.
Thank you.
As school is starting.
So just to refresh your memory, we talked about this in the springtime. At that point, the trustees felt like this was worth pursuing.
Mhm.
You recommended that we run it by our insurance provider just to get their take on it. I can quote their response of, "This is a great idea. We should be doing this." And so they felt very comfortable supporting this direction, especially because of the indemnification clause that's in there from the Kootenai County Office of Emergency Management.
Mm. Is the link supposed to work, the reunification link? I was trying to look at it earlier. I thought it was, still wasn't working.
The link in the board agenda item should work, yes.
Inside the MOU itself, there's a standard reunification method, and then there's an example. That link doesn't go anywhere. The reunification method.
Oh, in item number 4.
Yeah.
That is probably not for the public.
Oh,
Yeah, let me look really quick. Oh, okay. I see what you mean now. Okay, we can get that updated. What it's referring to is, in order for this agreement for mutual aid to work between the 3 districts and the 1 private school that's on there, we all have to agree to train on the same system, right? If we
Right.
are going to be helpful to Post Falls or vice versa, we need to speak the same language, have the same training. And so you could Google the I Love You Guys Foundation and search what's called the standard reunification method, and that's what that is referring to. This
Okay.
agreement says that we agree to follow that
Okay.
protocol.
Got it, okay. Yes, that's what I was looking for. I don't have any questions.
Any questions or other conversations to be had?
No.
I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the special education manual. Questions, comments, conversations?
So it's basically just the state's, okay.
Yeah, I don't think that they've had an update for a couple of years, but this is just the State Department's newest edition.
Okay,
I'm just curious why it says manual 2025 and not 2026.
I asked that same question, and to be totally honest with you, I don't remember what the answer was, but there was an explanation for that from the State Department.
Okay, well, there we
Maybe
go.
that's when they started their review.
Okay. Any questions, comments, conversations to be had?
nope.
Nope.
Okay.
Do we treat a student differently when they reach age 18?
What's that?
It says definition of a child, an individual who has not attained age 18. Do they get, how they're treated by the district change? I'm not familiar with,
Well, an adult student, a
Yeah.
student with a disability age 18 or older to whom rights have transferred under the IDEA and Idaho Code and who has not been deemed legally incompetent by a court or deemed ineligible to give informed consent by the IEP team. So it's
So-
just saying that sometimes there's,
once they turn 18, if none of
there
that's
are
happened,
different rules.
they do have
Yeah.
different treatment.
Different set of
They have
procedures.
autonomy
Yeah.
that they didn't have before. Okay. Sorry.
No, it's totally fine.
Okay. This document changes so quickly. Drag.
I move to approve as presented.
I'll second.
Okay, so you're moving to approve the adoption of the manual?
Yep.
Okay. And you're seconding that?
Correct.
All right. We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. We have the Custodian of Records Handbook. Okay. Fabulous job. Thank you so much for all your work and effort in creating this. I did note that the policy on destruction of records isn't correct.
Okay.
We need to research that. And there was an issue because it was brought forward for revision, and it had been really revised. And the board said, take it back.
Okay.
Put it back together the way it was. And then it came back forward. I believe the board adopted it, but what's on the website is 2000 and it's not the correct. It's not, the reason why I'm saying it's not correct.
Most current,
What?
not the most current.
Correct, thank you. It's because we did recently approve it, I believe in 2025. So we'll need to find where that policy is that was approved.
Hopefully it's on an agenda.
That would be a plus.
Sorry, I'm just making notes here.
No,
so
no,
I
no,
can go
you're
back
fine.
in.
I'm actually trying to,
Because this was a lot of what I inherited.
I understand.
And on the policy for the destruction of records, I did have the attorney review that as well, but I don't think I realized that there is already something in place here that would be part of that. So
Right.
I'll go back and add that.
Okay, well, the policy that's linked in for the destruction of records, policy.
Retention.
The retention,
Records,
thank you,
thank you.
that one.
The 8600.
Perfect. It has an adopted date of 8/8/16. That is not the most current one. Because I know it was looked at and reviewed and revised in 2021. And then it also came about again in, was it 25? I think it was 2025.
Or 24, could have been 20, could have been late 24.
I think it was 25.
The other.
Because I think
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
that-
yeah,
it
yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
It became this big thing. So the request was to let's step it back, and then got it back in order and brought it forward, and that was approved.
Okay.
Okay.
That is good to know. I love when we peel back the layers of this
Love it.
situation, and I will add it and we'll try again next time.
Sweet. But I want to thank you for all the work you did on it. That looks great.
And then the only thing I would request is, while the links are nice, that the actual hard copy is, whether it's in appendices or something, that the hard copy of the thing is with the manual.
Templates are in the manual.
Yeah. Whether it's referring to the policy or referring to the worksheet or, and then I would assume that after that's all compiled like that, that legal would look at it and
Okay.
say yay or nay.
Legal's already looked at it, correct?
Legal's
Yeah.
reviewed what we have currently.
Right.
Okay.
But I'll make sure we take another
Yeah,
pass at it.
Perfect.
So I will move to table until just that piece is, the rest of it looks fantastic, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, until that piece is updated.
Okay. Sorry, was there a second on that?
I'll
hear
second.
Oh, sorry. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to policies. So we have the policy 8180, policy, which is transportation. Policy 5375, which is the teacher union activities. Policy 5406, the sick leave bank, and policy 4120, uniform grievance. All right, so okay. I would ask for the website, the policy first, instead of being named, which it was added onto the new draft, it's the bus driver training and responsibility. And so if we can add that word bus before driver on the website, that'd be
Okay.
great. Because initially when we started on it, I thought we were talking about like drivers training for students that were gonna learn how to
Driver's
drive.
education. Yeah.
But we're not, it's for the bus drivers.
Did we ever deal with the drivers coming on and getting their CDL and leaving?
I believe that's what this addresses.
Oh shit, where was it at?
Yeah, so the change to this policy kind of reorders the way that we require the drivers now to pay for that training up front.
Mhm.
And then we have the option to come back and support that cost later if they remain with the district.
Yeah, under the new hire responsibilities and expectations, they are responsible for all costs associated
Okay,
with
I see
obtaining. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And we are still paying for the physical examination?
Yes.
I believe so.
Okay.
Thank you,
And
Summer.
giving 20 hours of job training. Okay. Any conversation to be had on this?
No.
I was looking again at some of the dates on those policies. We should have 21 or 22, 2021 or 2022 updated policies. So, you know, the templates
Mhm.
out there on the drive. Maybe we want to update those or just use what this is. I just noticed that some of these policies, the last few that we went through were older.
Well, this is not a new one, so yay.
This is not what, sorry.
Not a new one. I thought it was a new one, but
Right.
it's not. Yeah.
That's all, that was my, should be out there on the drive. That's what I was trying to find real quick. Okay, so there was a spring of 21 update, and then there's also a spring 2020. Yeah, so it looks like there's a couple of them out there, and there's also winter. Those were memos.
And you're looking at 8180.
I was just looking, they're all collapsed when they used to send those to us. It was just one huge PDF file. So
Okay.
you would have to actually go into the file, find that update, and, but I can send you an email with those links if
Okay,
that helps you.
That'd be awesome.
Okay. So you're not just out there in the sea of the drive.
So I think what you're trying to convey is we need to add some dates on the policy history.
Yes, that and making sure that, you know, if we come across something this old,
Right.
you know, maybe nothing changed at all, but just in case there was something that they, you know, thought was a good idea to add, we might want to look at that. I mean, this one's pretty innocuous. It's sort of whatever we want to do, really, but.
Well, we specifically looked at this because of the growing concern of not being able to retain the bus drivers after we invest money into them.
Mhm.
So.
And what about the other districts? Did we look at those just out of curiosity?
In the beginning, we did pull
Okay.
up other ones and look at what they
Okay.
have going on.
We usually do, but I thought I would ask. All right. I don't have any more questions on that.
Okay. Then I would move to approve policy 8180 with a revision of revised dates being added to the bottom of this policy.
I will dig into that and see what other revised dates there may have been.
Perfect.
A second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the teacher union activities. This is a new policy that was drafted based on the new legislative change.
Did the state, the Board of Education, did they ever supply a template? Still, no template? On their website, it said the template and all of the stuff was coming. That's why I'm asking, because they were gonna tackle that and then the districts could,
I have not seen anything yet.
Okay.
And I did a deep dive, I want to say it was about a week, maybe 2 weeks ago, to see what I could pull up, and there wasn't any
okay,
new info, but this is more or less the exact language as to what was discussed in the IBB meetings.
yep, okay, yep. Yeah, I think I sent you the link to all that. The Board of Education's website, when it said blah, 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 we were gonna, okay. All right. And, yeah, this was everything, we already talked about this one, right? And legal already went over, we already hashed this out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, I believe the only revisions are from one policy committee meeting where we changed some titles.
Yep.
okay.
I'll move to approve.
And I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. The next one is the sick leave bank.
I do need to identify an oversight on this policy that I just want to acknowledge before there's any discussion. And I take responsibility for this because I was unaware of this whenever we covered this in policy committee. We do not use the sick leave bank to cover any bereavement leave. And so in the very first paragraph in red, I would recommend that we actually do not approve that language for bereavement.
Okay.
I apologize. I also just, with my time of year, I was only paying attention to comments. Otherwise, I would have caught that. I caught that when we were looking over the procedure. And basically, you cannot use a sick leave bank for bereavement because you can't use FMLA for bereavement. And so we do have actual bereavement leave that is given to employees during these times. And then if they need additional time, they can use their own sick leave or leave without pay.
Okay.
That's completely opposite.
Right,
Thank
that's
you.
what Jake just said, is that he was mistaken and that is not allowed. That's what they're saying, is we need to get rid of that verbiage.
So get rid of the additional part before the spouse or child. Because sick leave days in the absences due to death doesn't make any sense.
Right,
Okay.
that's what he's
Okay.
saying, is we need to
Okay,
strike all
I
of
missed-
that part.
Yeah,
What-
so if we eliminated all of that red text and just went straight to from additional sick leave days needed for absences due to, and then it would skip all that and go recover from personal illness or injury,
Oh,
etc.
okay. I missed what the content would point out. Okay.
So you can use sick leave for bereavement 2 days, but you can't use the sick leave bank?
No, you can't. It's because, again, it's tied to FMLA. And then there's no parameters if they like keep borrowing how long they're out on bereavement. And so we're not able to do that. You cannot use FMLA for bereavement.
Okay. And it was, came up when we were going through the sick leave bank policy. the LEA actually asked for procedures for the sick leave bank, and we are still in the process of ironing out those procedures. So,
With their participation.
yeah, with their,
Okay.
and with HR's participation in that. So personally, I think sticking with what we normally do is if there's a form or a procedure or whatnot, and we're making those types of revisions, they come together.
Yeah.
So I would ask that we table policy 5406, the sick leave bank, until we have 5406P ready for review from the board.
I'll second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the uniform grievance. This was a little bugger policy that we've had laying out there for years. That's never been revised because legal told us to wait and then forgot. So we have gone through and walked hand in hand in revising this. And legal has reviewed this, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, everything in the draft in purple is the legal language that was
Okay.
added.
Okay, it's that, okay. Is there no conflict of the statements? And I guess that's more of a legals question that says it would be the process step 1. An exception is that the complaints of sexual harassment should be discussed with the building administrator that is not involved in the alleged harassment. But then finally, what I was looking for is down quite a ways where it starts talking about Title IX, and Title IX violation goes directly to the Title IX director. Should they not go directly to the Title IX director anyways? I believe that's appropriate legally. I don't understand why they put them both out. But the problem that we had before, when we were first told we were waiting for verbiage and laws and all this stuff, was there was never a procedure for grievance about the superintendent to be brought, because the superintendent was always the person that the grievance was brought to, and there was never a way for the grievance to be brought about the superintendent. If somebody disagreed or somebody had a grievance against the superintendent, there was never a way for that to happen.
Well, on page 3,
Mhm.
we have added language that's about the superintendent.
Yeah, I saw that there.
And so basically after step 1, so the intention would be for the person who has the grievance to confront the other person that they have the grievance against.
Mhm.
So if it's an employee that has a grievance against the superintendent, they should go to the superintendent and say, I have
Right.
a bone to pick. And then if they don't like how that conversation goes, then they would skip steps 2, 3, and 4.
Mhm.
Fill out the form that is at step 4, I believe.
Mhm.
And then it would come to the board, but the board would then have an impartial administrator or qualified outside investigator investigate the grievance, because ultimately we still have to
Right.
hear it.
Right,
So,
because that's what was happening before it was always getting,
stopped at the
Right,
superintendent, and
right.
that's where it
right,
stayed.
okay.
So we did put that language in there so that,
All
you
right,
know,
I saw that, I wasn't quite sure okay.
do you think there needs to be something more?
No, not in that.
Okay.
That obviously is fine. I have a question for Brooke. Being that you're it. The Title IX violation, would it go to the building administrator before it came directly to you?
I mean, if it's a sexual harassment thing and it is, and it's not the building administrator that's being accused, it would go to that administrator first, and then it should go to me.
Okay,
I mean, it would be both,
yeah,
but, I mean, they have a supervisor that I would want them to share with.
right, yeah, absolutely, yeah. But not the reliance that they just go to the building administrator and then whatever the administrator does with it, they do with it. That should not be the end of the thing.
Our
You should-
administrators have been very well informed, and they're very good about it.
Yeah,
That if it looks like a Title IX situation, they do reach out to me.
yeah. But how versed are they in title? You know, there were so many changes a few years ago. I mean, how versed are they now? Anymore, it's pretty broad. If there's just the perception of such, it's a violation.
Yeah, they're all pretty good. I mean, there's been some things where they've called me on that, I mean, are normal teenage kid stuff.
Right,
Is
right.
it pervasive? No, it's not. I mean, so we go through these questions.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're doing a great job. My thing is, I just want to make sure that it ultimately gets to you. I just don't understand why she kept it. So, I mean, if they really, who looked at this?
Megan O'Dowd reviewed it.
Okay. All right,
It
thank
had
you.
originally gone to her, and so I followed
Okay.
the process through with her.
Okay. Okay, I have no more questions.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Then I would move to approve policy 4120 uniform grievance as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Nay.
4 in favor, 1 opposed, motion carries. Moving on to the bus routes.
I just want to acknowledge, we know that Michael and Summer took the entire summer to look at our bus routes and really start from scratch, in my understanding, and build everything up for looking for efficiencies in safety updates that we could make. And so I just want to say thank you for the work. That's a tremendously heavy lift, and it matters a lot.
Thank you.
So I'm just curious, because you're gonna add a new route, which will help with the overcrowding, and it will service the Brookshire area with 2 buses instead of 5.
6. Or
Well, it
2,
just
3,
says
4,
instead of
5.
5.
Yes.
So what are we doing with those other 3? I mean, they're still,
They're
They're
just
being
going- yeah,
rerouted?
they're rerouting.
okay,
Just to make it efficient, more fuel for our fuel schedule,
okay.
make everything better.
So, Summer, is it fair to say that we're still picking up the same number of Brookshire kids, or an increasing number of Brookshire kids with the same number of buses, but now most of the buses are able to stay on the outside and only 2 buses are actually going into the neighborhood?
Same amount of children.
Okay.
We know that it's going to grow, so we're kind of preparing a little bit for that.
Sure.
And we're pulling the other buses out so that everyone can be efficiently sent out somewhere else to go in. We had to reroute some minor areas here and there to make things work and not have everyone overlap, or, make the fuel schedule make sense.
Gotcha.
As far as that is.
So we're taking very crowded bus stops in the neighborhood and just kind of breaking them out.
And just having one bus concentrate on that particular area instead of 5 buses all going in there to try and pick up a little bit here and there.
Gotcha.
Into Brookshire.
Perfect.
Any other conversation or?
No, thank you for
Thank you.
all this work. This is awesome.
Thank you.
I will move to approve the 26-27 school year bus routes as presented.
Did you have any other questions?
I did have one other question. So I know you're talking about the issue with all the buses coming in and everything. Did we have any talk with the community there when we were, and bring up this, what the idea was of how to deal with the bus routes and?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I just thought it would be more efficient.
Right.
There was some discussion of why we were going in Brookshire area, and we could have made it with this new route. We just was
Yeah.
trying to
And
concentrate it.
yeah, I'm sure you did, obviously a lot of work. I'm just wondering, what the community feedback is gonna be for Brookshire this year with this change. I mean, do you?
Yeah, so that is a really good question. Just kind of anecdotally, I know that this isn't feedback data from the community at this point, but as the Garwood principal, we had a lot of kids come from Brookshire and start and end their day at those bus stops in Brookshire. It was constantly a concern about how crowded the bus stops were.
Yeah.
That resulted in some student conflict, confusion with bus routes, because like Summer said, they would often overlap and pass each other. And so especially with the younger kiddos, that presented quite a few challenges for
Yeah.
the parents.
I guess my only concern with it is that in the past few more recent years, there's been a lot of back and forth with bus routes without community engagement and the community, well, at least like a heads up. I mean, we're almost ready to start school.
Sure.
So they can provide some feedback, or at least
At least be notified.
feel like they were part of the conversation,
Yeah.
And I believe this area, if I'm not mistaken, has been one of those that has had
Opal.
a lot of, back and forth with it.
So stops aren't necessarily changing, it's just which bus is servicing the stops, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
We thought it was less confusing to have 2 instead of 5 going there to pick up the same amount of students
Yeah.
in that area.
Yeah.
So the impact to the families, then they shouldn't
There wouldn't be too
recognize
much of
any
an impact.
difference.
No. it shouldn't be.
Maybe a little bit of a time change
Maybe.
for when that
But
stop gets picked up.
Yeah, but the first 2 weeks or the first month is always crazy.
Chaos.
Uh-huh.
Chaotic, so they all shift, you know, we all shift.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be a good thing.
Okay. All right, that was my only concern. I just want to make sure, maybe we should at least, maybe we can identify those families and tell them we don't anticipate any change to their, you know, like they're not going to have to drive across town to get their student to school. You know what I'm saying? So that when the first day of school comes, they're not hit with, hey, we're only having 2 buses instead of 5, or whatever their resolution is.
Yeah.
You know, that would be my,
We can definitely do some kind of communication.
yeah.
But is-
Transporting more kids with the 2 buses, that we're planning to transport more kids with those 2 buses than we were transporting before with the 5, right?
At
Because of
some
the growth.
point, right, with the growth itself, so they're all probably gonna end up going on those 2 buses.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I just think we need to communicate to the families that there will be a change, but they shouldn't really be affected by the change, but at least they'll know, they'll have a heads up, so they feel
That
like.
it might be a different bus driver stopping
Right.
at their stop or something.
Right, right.
They do get communication from us. We have confirmation of their routes and whatnot, and we have it linked into our registration.
Yep.
So we are sending out communication, but not specifically to Brookshire, to everyone that had registered with stops and times and such, you know, information. But we can definitely target
Yeah.
Brookshire to just kind of give them a heads up.
Yep.
You've got 4 different tiers.
Yes.
What is that?
So in the morning, it would be tier 1 is high school and middle school. Tier 2 is elementary to school, and in the afternoon, tier 3 is high school, middle school going home, and elementary going home is tier 4.
Okay.
I don't have any more.
I was just trying to see with the whole Apple and the whole elementary and the whole fiasco we had last year.
Yeah, well, those, I mean, if nothing's changed, they should remain intact.
Okay.
It is my understanding,
Okay.
right, that's, the only thing that changed was reduction of buses, because we can transport students with less amount of buses in and out of the.
Right. So we do have a motion on the floor.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the facilities surplus items. How old are the buses that are being surplused?
Summer, do you mind?
Well, and it would also go with the pickup trucks and the dump trucks. I mean, there's no, like,
Doesn't identify
Yeah.
what they are.
The pickup trucks, I can get the years for you. Their pictures down below have them. They're pretty old. But the buses, she was asking
90s.
for what the ages of the buses were.
Oh, the ages.
Yeah,
They're
so 34,
old.
35, 51, 56, and 57.
Yeah, they're old. I'm not exactly sure. I could go look it up.
okay.
But it would be nice for future to have make, model, and year
Absolutely.
listed on these, just so that we know that.
This was one of the last things our previous facilities director prepared before he left us. So I apologize I didn't catch the dates on there.
Past depreciation.
Bus 34 was a 2014. Bus 35 was a 2014. 51 was a 2005. 56 and 57 were both a 2006 and a 2009.
So 12 to 20 years.
Well, they haven't moved in 20 years, so
Right.
that I know.
They haven't moved in 20 years?
I haven't seen them move.
Were they included on the bus depreciation schedule last year?
Yes. No, we aren't on depreciating.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm just used to seeing more information than a bus number, that's
The
all.
Ford was a 2003. Sorry, I'm looking them up right now.
Well, you can stop. I mean,
Okay.
it's not just the years. I mean,
Yep.
there's value, there's all sorts of information that we're not being given.
I don't understand why they said the sander doesn't run. I guess they're talking about the motor for the hopper. And then my question would be, it looks like it's aluminum to me. What the value is of scrap versus selling it as a quote hopper.
I know our facilities department takes that into account when they determine how they surplus it.
Mhm.
If we're going to get more for recycling it, that's how we manage it.
Yeah.
So surplus is either through the auction or we recycle it, or in some instances we do a trade-in on the buses if we're purchasing a new bus.
Mhm.
So are you going to request new buses this year?
One, that should be coming to you next month.
And we're not going to be trading any of these buses in or surplusing
We're
them?
trying to get approval for the surplus of them so that when we prepare the RFP, we already have approval to surplus those buses as a
Okay.
trade-in.
That would be good information to have too.
So was there, are you on a time crunch to use any of this for anything? Like, well, you just said the bus thing, but that's gonna be coming.
Other than cleaning up the yard for facilities,
That's it, okay, all right.
Be nice.
yes, it would be very nice.
Someone's been asking for that for a while.
Much better than storing junk that doesn't run. So
Exactly.
I move to approve as presented.
I'll second.
We have a motion. and
Wait,
a
can I have any of this?
No.
Oh,
It's not how policy works or state statute.
Okay, just wondering.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Thank you very much.
And then the Armed District Safety Specialist surplus items.
So to follow up on our last conversation, I've outlined just in addition to our policy that we would follow a couple of steps that we would take to work with a federally licensed firearm dealer. We actually employ one in the ADSS program, and so John Hatcher would take care of this for us and is able to complete all of the transfer paperwork to keep this above board. Again, to follow up on the conversation last meeting, I did include a little bit more detail about the firearm itself and an updated value from the firearms dealer.
Okay. Is the federally licensed firearms dealer our SRO
ADSS,
or ADSS?
yes.
We don't see that as a conflict.
He is the person who helped us acquire these firearms in the beginning. And so in my mind, there's at least continuity there.
Okay. So what will it cost the district to replace this weapon for a new ADSS?
in my understanding, between $400 and $500, depending on the market at that time.
Okay.
I don't have any questions.
What was provided for the value of the gun?
$400.
No, I know what was provided to support the value of the $400 appraisal?
ADSS Hatcher provided me with a catalog that he had access to
Okay.
as a dealer to be able
Okay.
to show basically the current rate.
That's just what I wanted to know.
Okay.
I mean, because I just wanted to make sure that we've got something tangible to support that number as opposed to,
Yeah.
okay, that's all. All right,
Right here you can find Bass Pro for $4.99.
sweet. Okay, I don't want one, but, okay. I'll entertain a motion on this.
I move to approve.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Moving on to the discussion items, we have the OWL meeting recording system.
Back in the spring, we talked about updating our recording system for the board meetings and all of our committee meetings. We've talked about doing that when we get back into the next budget, which is where we're at now. And so I just wanted to bring it back and make sure you guys see your thoughts and see if you're in a place where you want to move forward with getting that started for the school year. The option we looked at last time would be the meeting OWL 3 with the bar and the tripod, and that puts us at $24.09 before tax.
And I'm wondering, do we feel like that's sufficient enough, or?
I think it's a really great starting place, and I think it will cover our needs.
Okay.
The way the system is built, that if we get to a point in the future where we feel like we need another bar recording system, or if we get into more of like their whiteboard capabilities, then we could add on to it without it breaking the system that we have at the time.
So it's expandable.
Yes, thank you.
Fancy words, I know.
It's like,
I'm with you on that one.
And have we talked to the company just for their input?
not the company itself.
Okay.
We've talked to other people who've utilized this and their thoughts, and everyone is pretty excited, especially when they're coming off of like web cameras and things like
Yeah.
that. And
Well,
just
what I mean is their expert input, because what happened before was once we started, then it was like, oh yeah, and what about this piece, and what about that piece, and so it'd be nice if we had, like,
I'll
we
touch
think
base with
this will
them.
be good, but it would be nice if they said, well, you know, usually this, and then people add this because blah, blah, blah.
The functionality
Yeah.
and capabilities of the system.
The thing that's nice, and I think what I gave you guys the link to is for the U-shaped coverage. So they kind of recommend packages based on the room shape that you have. So even here, we're kind of in a U-shaped configuration. Definitely, when we're back in our regular place, that's where we're at. And so they've built really good packages that people I've talked to have not felt the need to. They didn't feel like they were missing pieces when
Yeah.
they got it installed in their areas.
Okay.
Well, I do think we need to move forward with this. We have to improve what we've got going on, because it's not sufficient at all. No matter how much we keep trying, it's still not sufficient.
Well, it was, when we started, it was never intended to be permanent, was the thing, where it was a
It wasn't gonna be a
COVID.
long time,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was a COVID thing, and then it just,
Right.
you know.
I double clicked and went out and came back in, and I can't find where it is.
Oh, scroll up.
I'm fine to move forward.
Nope, you're going too far.
Well, he's on attachments.
Oh,
So if you arrow back,
Okay, I double clicked and read.
There you go.
Oh.
okay.
Documents.
So can we direct the clerk
Okay.
to
just don't do that.
move forward on this?
Scroll down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay.
Still
Do
doing
you
it.
Yeah,
wanna-
I'm good.
You're good with that?
Yep.
Okay. We'll wait till Jeff gets back on.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
You've got a long ways to go. Because we're down in discussion items.
You're back
Go
on
back up.
attachments.
Yeah, scroll to the top.
Scroll through.
Yeah,
Okay.
go to the top. Because you went to
Return to
documents.
meeting.
Yeah, go to the actual
Okay.
meeting. And go to show agenda.
And then we're down to discussion. All the way to the bottom.
Well, maybe do it up on
Well, go back to that page. There you go. Yeah, your screen is. See, I have mine set up to have the agenda going over here, and then I can go to the documents.
Oh, because he's logged into
Well,
live.
it's- I can't see all
That's
the way to
why.
the bottom of this.
He's following the meeting instead of looking at the agenda.
He's in board book.
Yeah, but there's
Okay,
two
well, now you
options.
keep
He's
scrolling
not
down.
following the
I
agenda,
don't
he's
like
in a
to
live
start
meeting.
that.
Oh,
Just move forward.
Okay. All right. So, Randy, three of us are in agreement to direct the clerk to move forward with the OWL project.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
Yep.
perfect.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right. So now we'll move on to the negotiated agreement and certified salary schedule. Okay.
So these documents are presented in exactly the same form where we last left off in IBB. I do want to acknowledge that I put the proposed salary schedule at the very bottom. They are all in one PDF, and I should have put it at the top. So I apologize, you have to scroll all the way to the end to see the salary schedule there.
Well, on page 5, was it intentional to retain the 25-26 certified salary schedule? When we go back to salary schedule provisions, we're identifying the contract year 26-27?
It was not intentional.
Okay.
No, but we certainly will have that updated and have the new salary schedule linked in.
Okay.
I would assume after this discussion before it's presented to the LEA
It's
again.
not a touch screen.
Okay, and I thought we were... The association leave portion needs to kind of mirror, we were supposed to, what my recollection was that all of the yellow was being taken out with a redirect to the policy that was created.
Correct.
And then the same with the sick leave bank, all that language that got left in does not mirror what's on the policy.
And we would just refer to the policy.
Mhm.
Yes.
Right, that's what I thought we were
doing this, where it says join
going
meeting,
to
don't click that one. You
do.
We are prepared to do that.
Okay,
And so I made the decision to leave it all in just to have the discussion and make sure that we were on the same page. But
okay,
those absolutely are the same next steps that we have at the office.
okay. Thank you, Ramona. Okay.
And then when you want to have their handbook,
Probably 6 inches. Double inches. What about?
Okay, so I think the first item of business would be if we are going to adopt the certified salary schedule, because technically we can't approve the negotiated agreement. We can send it for ratification if we are in agreement with its content.
Sorry, say that again.
We may approve the certified salary schedule because we have not approved that yet. But we cannot approve the negotiated agreement. We can't vote on it yet until it's been ratified. But we can say that we're comfortable with its content for the LEA to take it to its members for ratification.
And at this point, the timeline that we expect to follow is to deliver that to the LEA for ratification in the next month and then bring it back to the board in the September regular board meeting for approval.
Okay. So given that the certified salary schedule has been frozen for this year, I would move to approve the certified salary schedule as presented.
And that's approving everything, right? The
Just-
negotiated agreement will.
No, just the certified salary schedule, because we cannot approve the negotiated agreement.
Well, that's my point. Last year, when we approved the salary schedule, we were by proxy approving the agreement too, remember?
We couldn't approve, that's what I was trying to think of too. But
That's what
we
got us
couldn't
in
approve the
trouble.
salary schedule outside of the negotiated
Right.
agreement.
Correct. And that's how we ended
It
up in the
had
Well-
to be an
pickle.
all or nothing.
Yeah.
Well, the pickle was that we approved the salary schedule and then we tried to negotiate within the agreement without an understanding of what was going to happen in the negotiated agreement.
Right, but if you go back and look, the linchpin was because we approved the salary schedule and it is part of the agreement,
Okay.
they're not separated. You cannot approve one without the other. We can go back and
Okay.
look at the email, but that was,
And I believe that was legal's.
That was
Yes.
legal's
Yes.
direction. Okay, well, we can't approve the negotiated agreement until it's been ratified. So, and the LEA members have not looked at the agreement apparently and had an opportunity to ratify it. So, is there anything within the negotiated agreement at this point in time that anyone has cause for concern over? I did express mine because it was my understanding that we were going to direction to the policy because we can't have language in this document that contradicts our policy.
Correct.
And there was a smidgen.
Yeah.
Um,
Sections to be removed and replaced
Yeah.
with reference to the policy.
Right.
Yeah.
and can it come back
It will have to come
yeah,
back to us for approval, but we can't approve it until it's been ratified.
right, so what is, I mean, why don't we just table it? What are we,
Well, it's a discussion item.
It's just a discussion
Yeah,
item.
to determine if we're good to
Where do
say.
we feel about where it sits right now?
Right.
So that it can
Right,
be
but we were-
reviewed for
We were making
ratification.
motions, so that's my question. Are we waiting on it? We can't do anything anyways until it's ratified. So
Well-
does anybody have anything to talk about?
Right, the reason,
Okay.
the only thing I was gonna motion on was the salary schedule, but I understand your point, and it's well taken. So, is there anything within the negotiated agreement that needs to be reviewed, revisited, revised, anything?
Nope, I thought that's why we had all those meetings, so.
We'd like to have some more, Randy.
I don't
Come on
want
now.
more. Nope, I'm good.
So as long as it's in, as long as everything's in agreement, and I think it was, we were waiting for the policy.
We
That
were.
was the one.
Yep.
That was the huge,
Right,
That was the hangup, that we
Yeah.
just approved that tonight.
right, yeah.
Yep.
So I think, and then once they ratify it, it can come back.
The union activity?
we did approve the
Oh,
union
union
activity,
activity,
but we
yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
approve
The 54
the
cents is part of
sick
it.
leave bank.
Oh, I see. Okay, you're right. I was thinking association activity.
That's what I was thinking too.
We did approve the association
Yeah.
activity policy.
Okay. We do already have a sick leave bank policy.
Correct.
And so, I mean, in my mind, knowing that we have direction to go to update the sick leave bank policy,
Mhm.
we can probably still move forward with this as well and be pretty safe.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions, qualms, concerns on the negotiated agreement?
No, I don't have any. I mean, as long
Yeah.
as it's all, complements each other, and there's nothing contradictory.
Right,
As long as all that gets fixed and like the sick bank leave that,
well, the sick leave bank language was,
Right.
it was copy and pasted from
Right.
the negotiated agreement, and so that's why I'm like,
right.
we have a little bit of conflict.
Yeah, but
Just
we're
a
working through it
smidge.
Yeah.
steadily.
Just
So
a
as long
smidge.
as all those things, and it's already been discussed that, it legally can't be done anyway, so
Okay.
it's like we don't get to decide.
So just so that we're clear, our next steps will be to make the revisions that we talked about tonight, to take out the language and just refer to those policies.
Yes,
As well as update the dates.
Yes.
And link in the updated certified salary schedule instead of including it at the bottom. And then we would give that to the LEA for ratification.
Yes.
I would assume that since we're talking about a September board meeting, they would just wait until their membership returns, because it's probably easier to
The
get.
LEA wanted the verbiage of the policy in the negotiated agreement. That was one
Not
of their
just the
big
reference
requests.
to-
Correct. That was
Okay.
one of their big requests, was that they wanted the verbiage from the policy
Well,
in.
Miss-
I'm glad you mentioned that. I can go back
Mr.
and watch.
Bradbury said, he sent an email to all of us stating that the week of August 31st, back to school, he'll be opening up his classroom after contract time each day for any member to come view and discuss the IBB proposal. And that way he can answer any questions they have. And then the next week, the week of September 7th, he'll have the membership vote on the package to see if the LEA can ratify it.
Perfect.
So that's his plan.
Okay.
So I think we're on track.
Okay.
Sounds like it
Yeah.
to me.
It's fine, it's just Michelle's phone.
Yeah.
What?
I just
Your
stopped
phone is
blinking
going
and
off,
Oh.
so you're-
Peripheral vision,
Sorry. It's a special thing.
keep my little alarm.
No, it's
Right.
just, yeah, it's a thing.
Oh, like fire alarms, blink.
Okay, moving on to the superintendent evaluation, tool and timeline. Okay.
So I'd like to just say, I certainly don't expect this to all be hashed out tonight. I expect that this will be a process that spans a couple of meetings. I'm looking for direction in one area, and I'm making a suggestion in another. So on the superintendent evaluation itself, before I do any research on a tool or try to create a tool that works for the board, my request is that we can have a conversation about what your goals are for me. I'd love to just have an understanding about, like, in the trustees' minds, what does success look like for a superintendent? And I think that's a healthy place to start, and we can build a tool around that.
Okay.
And then, as you can see, I've suggested a timeline for that evaluation moving forward. Just that coincides with when superintendents are normally evaluated during the school year. And it also, frankly, is just a good time of year to do it in terms of busyness and capacity of everybody to fill out surveys and be responsive and all of that.
No, I appreciate your timeline. So when would you like us to talk about goals for you? Because if you're wanting to research something, get something on the game plan going, and we're looking at surveys going out by January, that's not a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple of options. I mean,
Okay.
I'm happy to have this discussion just as a discussion item in future regular board meetings.
Okay.
We also have, pardon me, I don't remember the exact date, but we have a board workshop scheduled to talk about district goals.
Okay.
And so that might also be a good time to talk about superintendent goals or your
Okay.
goals for me
Yeah.
specifically. But like I said, we have a few months to have this conversation. And so
Okay.
even if we open the conversation at one of those times, we can continue it as we need to.
Perfect.
Yep, sounds good to me.
Okay. So I would state that, yeah, we need to put your goals on that workshop for the district goals.
Perfect.
Okay. Is everyone else in agreement with that?
Yep.
I like it.
And also, in the past, or it has been, I mean, those things that are laid out in the job description, those things that are defined in policy, I mean, that's the thing we've always
Right.
followed. IDAPA,
Mhm.
statute, you know, and then, although we don't have a SIP plan anymore,
Yeah.
you know, but we can still sort of that type of a format.
Yeah.
Well, we did talk about, while we don't have a SIP plan, we would obtain goals from a SIP plan, so that we're still on track, because they're going to come back with something. It's going to be very similar to what they had, and they're going to give it a new name. So,
Yeah, in there, I've been able to preview a draft of what that looks like, which was really helpful. And so my plan is to basically just have a rough draft year, even though it's
Okay.
not required. We're going to try to get as close to what we believe the state plan will look like in the future.
Yeah.
So
I
that way
have a
we
head
have
start on
have a
Excellent.
head
knowing what
start.
that is.
Including the required goals,
Okay.
right? So it
Right.
was advertised that we would have a lot of flexibility, and I think we will have more flexibility, but
okay.
not 100%.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, because there are some goals, you know, statutory obligations that we just can't get away from, like
Yeah.
literacy and,
mhm.
you know, things like that, that we're still gonna have to keep in mind.
Yep. Okay, does the timeline look reasonable and acceptable?
I always wondered why we were May and everybody else was March, but
Okay, yeah,
it's good to go back in line with what everybody else does.
it is, yeah, it is helpful.
And then if we can be a little bit more proactive, such as discussing your goals in August instead of after the year starts, we'd all be in a much better place.
Well, we had a timeline of a check-in, a discussion, we always tried to set that on some of those other documents. It just never, something always happened that we just didn't. Usually it was a levy. When there's a levy,
Everything goes by the wayside.
yeah,
Well, that is understandable.
yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah, other than that, sounds good to me.
Perfect.
okay.
Any other questions?
No,
on your-
thank you, I
Okay, you're
appreciate it.
welcome. Going to the committee membership update.
So last meeting, we had, I had presented to the board my plan for both the strategic planning committee and the long-range facilities planning committee. During that discussion, we talked about how rather than the trustees appointing people from your zones, the district office would take responsibility for sending out, what we ended up doing was sending out an interest survey for each group. And so what is presented to you tonight are the responses from that interest survey. We have, I believe, about 8 respondents for each committee. And so I would love to have discussion with the board about your thoughts about moving forward with these 8 people for each group. The whole idea is that we have fair representation from all of the trustee zones. We have committee members that are committed to participating over the course of the entire school year or beyond. That way we have the same group of people who are following the data, following the conversation, and not just showing up to one meeting here or there and being able to vote on a recommendation to the board. My suggestion, or what makes sense to me, would be to run with who has expressed interest at this point as our kind of first iteration of our core committee members, and go from there. And then I will, it's in my monthly report from here on out to give you an update as to how both of these committees are running and what they're talking about, what they're proposing to the board. And so we can address any necessary updates to the core committee membership during those times.
I think it looks great.
So how did we advertise this so that the community as a whole got the information that these were open?
We posted all over our social media. We had it available on our website. And then I also reached out to certain community groups that represent a broad number of people. So like Chambers of Commerce and the Spirit Lake Coalition, and individual contacts that I have that could redistribute it out to a greater membership who might not follow our district or look at our webpage regularly. I'm sure that you all remember from my description of these committees and how they'll run last meeting that they're still open to the public. And so even though we have these core committee members who are committing to be there and are kind of the core group, they're still open to the public. Anybody can swing in. We're going to run it like a workshop, and so anybody who shows up for any given topic will still be able to give input and have conversation. We're just going to rely on these folks to actually determine a recommendation for the board.
So does everybody agree that we can move forward with these persons as the committee members?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Would there be opportunity, respecting that, you know, anyone can come, but if someone expresses an interest in becoming a member, would they have the opportunity to become a member of the committee?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Okay.
This interest form will remain on our website, just like we do with our supplemental curriculum materials folks. I do want to be careful. Sometimes too many cooks in the kitchen can make things a little bit confusing, but at this point, I don't foresee that being an issue.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is just to make sure that we are getting feedback, maybe that people can't be a continual or ongoing committee member, but that the community has a way to give input. And I think over the last few years, the legislators have been cognizant of the fact that there needs to be more community input outside of, just educators, retired educators, that there needs to be an actual true representation of parents, business leaders, well-rounded instead of a mono thought. So that would be my only, not really concerned, but I just want to make sure that we remain open and getting feedback when we do come across things that are going to affect the community, which is a lot of the decisions the district makes. Somewhere down the line the community is being affected, whether they're a parent or what have you.
I appreciate that you brought that up, Trustee Grissom. That actually is one of the items that I would expect to cover with the strategic planning committee itself. Is we have done the same things over and over again to get community feedback, and we typically get the same results. And so again, one of the core conversations to get started is to remind everybody that the purpose of these community teams getting together is to have a representation from different zones, from different opinions, from different perspectives, and how do we get feedback on things like schedule changes or zone changes in a way that is the best possible representation that we can elicit.
And of course, I'm sure when you get to those heavy-hitting changes or ideas, then those become community forums, and we're going to each area. And
absolutely. This will be a school year for many of those conversations. Not only because it's a levy year, but because we, as we've discussed at great length in negotiations and in other places, we have a need to really make sure that what we're doing in the district is not only a reflection of what the community still values, but is the right place for dollars to go and is the most sustainable way to do business.
I'm fine with that. And of course, all the, as long as the board, understands what's happening, and we don't, forget to give the board a heads up that we're doing something that,
In fact, it is already built into the September agenda to have those updates.
Perfect.
Okay, any further discussion?
Nope.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Moving on to political campaigning on school grounds. Randy, you asked for this to be put on the agenda?
Yeah, I brought Coach Falls's, and if it's okay, I'll just read it.
Totally fine.
Because it's just short. It is the intent of the Board of Trustees to support the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution while at the same time provide a safe and secure educational environment for students. District sites are authorized by Idaho Code to serve as polling places on designated election days. The Board of Trustees finds political electioneering disruptive to school operations and the educational process. It shall be the policy of the district that political electioneering shall not be permitted on any district property. Electioneering shall include, but is not limited to, any conduct or activities that advocate for or against any candidate, issue, or measure on a ballot, soliciting signatures on a petition, soliciting contribution, waving campaign signs, distributing campaign literature, or disseminating audible electioneering information. This policy shall not apply to any public easement locations on the edges of district policy or district property. The flow of traffic onto district property shall not be impeded. The superintendent and or designee are directed to enforce this policy by declaring anyone engaging in electioneering is trespassing on district property and subject to ejection from the property. This policy is not applicable to student government elections. Electioneering related to student government elections shall be conducted in accordance with rules set by building administration. And this is what this is
Okay.
really what I was hoping that we could
Incorporate.
incorporate into our policy. I know that we have the rule for employees, but that doesn't have anything to do with other individuals. So I would like to, because that is specifically for employees. So this would have to be outside of that,
Okay.
that policy. It would have to be its own. So.
All right.
What about like in our facilities or something, or just a standalone policy, are you thinking? Is there a standalone policy? That's Post Falls policy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just,
That's it?
That's
Oh,
it.
okay.
It's very simple. It references their, electioneering at polls and
Right.
stuff, the Idaho codes that relate to, designation of precinct polling places. So it references those, but I really appreciated the wording in this one.
Yeah.
So, if we could do something similar, I think it will help our administrators, principals, in.
Yeah, school operations on election days in those buildings that are still designated as polling places it's a challenge. We respect everybody's right to conduct, business
Right.
legally as it stands right now, and we don't get in their way. But inevitably, because it's allowed, as long as they're 250 feet from the door of the polling place, it fills up our parking lots. It creates possibly some tension that's just unnecessary to have on a school campus during the school day. It would clear up some headaches, to say the least.
Didn't we change the calendar to close on those days, the polling days?
We do
The
on
vote-
the November date.
Oh, okay.
Right now, we're still in session on the May date,
Okay.
which has been okay, just because typically
Low
it's
turnout
lower
is-
turnout in
Yeah.
May. It's still a concern, even
Yeah.
with the lower turnout. It's still something that we deal with. There is a new law that was just passed. Forgive me, I don't know exactly. I think it goes into effect at the beginning of next year. That does not allow schools to be in session anymore on election days. And so this policy would really help us in the gap between now and then.
Well, we can always be proactive. I mean, and we can modify the calendar.
And beyond that, it's not just election day. It's not just electioneering. It's,
Yeah.
any kind of
Right.
political nonsense
Sure.
on school property. It can be done elsewhere.
Right.
So that's all I had.
Okay, do you want to give that to the clerk?
Sure.
And we can bring that to policy and we can draft something to bring back to the board.
Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. All right, that being said, we have our dates to remember. There's a lot of them. A lot of dates.
I want to add a couple of things here real quick. The first is on August 31st. I did put it on your calendars, but we do have the welcome back breakfast at Lakeland High School.
Okay.
I believe it's 7 in the morning.
Breakfast is served at 7:30 and the program begins at 8.
Okay.
You guys are only expected to speak for just a couple of minutes.
Each.
Right.
Or no, just a couple minutes for the whole board.
Each. Let's go with each.
And we'll designate Michelle to do the.
Hey now,
However you want to deal with it amongst yourselves.
I say
We give it to Quimby.
Dave.
Yeah.
Dave.
Yeah, that'll go good.
The only other thing, which we've been kind of addressing monthly at this point, is the possible special board meeting on September 2nd. I know it's kind of a long meeting, but we're moving through them at a pretty good clip. Do you guys feel a need to have a meeting on September 2nd, or would you like to wait for the regular board meeting on September 16th?
16th.
A lot can happen between now and then, especially with school starting. If something comes up, we might have to you know. I mean, I'm fine with going to the 16th, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking there's always something that comes up in the
Yeah.
very beginning.
So we'll tentatively hold on to that, and I will let you guys know. I'll talk to Jake next, what is it, next week?
Right now, and I think I've been pretty transparent, like my effort is to slow the pace a little bit and make it possible to just have one board meeting a month that feels productive for you guys. And that said, I also appreciate that this is a time of year when things do tend to come up. So right now we do not have anything planned for that agenda, but it also doesn't
Bless you.
it doesn't hurt to keep it bookmarked.
Okay.
So I will follow up with all of y'all on Wednesday of next week, just to see where we're at, because that would let us know in time for posting and all of those pieces.
Huh? Yeah. And I may not be here for that one. It's just so we're clear.
For the 16th or the 2nd?
The 2nd.
Okay.
Do we have any board member input for future agenda items?
Not at this time.
No.
I need a motion to enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 742061B and D.
So moved.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Need a roll call vote?
Trustee Bain?
Yes.
Trustee Broadhead?
Yeah.
Trustee Thompson?
Yes.
Trustee Grissom?
Yes.
Trustee Quigley?
Yes.
On that note, we'll go ahead and end the regular meeting, take a 5-minute recess, and come back for executive session.
I can't take a nap in 5 minutes.
Oh, come on.
Start recording.
Okay.
All right, we've come out of executive session. Oh, Lordy, it is 10:52. I will entertain any motions at this time.
I move that we approve the technology handbook as presented.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Any other motions?
Yep, move to approve the superintendent's alternative recommendation for the position of curriculum director for the 2026 school year. Personnel E.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Any other motions?
I move to release employees C and D from their contracts for the 26-27 school year.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. Are there any other motions?
I move to approve the superintendent's recommendation for facilities director with personnel F.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries. On that note, we will go ahead and end the board meeting. It is 10:54 p.m.